It was a rainy afternoon when Sarah stumbled into the small antique shop, seeking shelter from the storm. The bell above the door chimed as she stepped inside, greeted by the musty scent of old wood and forgotten memory. She wandered through the aisle, her fingers trailing over the rough surfaces of ancient furniture and tarnished trinkets. Her eyes caught a glimpse of something tucked away in the corner, a leather-bound diary, its spine cracked with age. The cover was embossed with intricate designs, but the letters were faded, barely legible. Curiosity tugged at her, and she picked it up, feeling an odd sense of connection. The shopkeeper, a frail old man with a thin smile, noticed her interest. "That one's special," he said quietly. "Belonged to a woman from over a century ago. There's something different about it." Ignoring the man's cryptic words, Sarah purchased the diary, eager to uncover its secrets. That night, in the quiet of her apartment, she opened the book to the first page. The first page of the diary was filled with neat, elegant handwriting. The words spoke of a life filled with mundane events, daily routines, trips to the market, and quiet evenings by the fire. It seemed like any ordinary diary, yet something felt off. As Sarah read, she couldn't shake the feeling that the woman who had written these words was trying to convey more than just simple thoughts. She continued reading, the pages revealing stories of strange occurrences, unexplained shadows lurking in the corners of rooms, whispers at night that no one else heard, and objects that moved on their own. The woman spoke of an unsettling presence in her life, something dark and ancient that seemed to watch her every move. Sarah, intrigued, pressed on, her fingers turning the pages faster, desperate to uncover more about the mysterious woman's life. The more Sarah read, the clearer it became that the diary's author, Eliza Hawthorne, had been plagued by a series of bizarre and supernatural events. According to the diary, these events began shortly after Eliza had visited a local healer, a woman known for her strange abilities and connections to the occult. Eliza's once peaceful life had spiraled into a nightmare, filled with ominous dreams and terrifying visions. One entry stood out in particular. Eliza described how she had encountered an entity in the woods, a shadowy figure that whispered her name and promised to grant her the knowledge of the future. Eliza had hesitated, but, driven by desperation, had made a pact with the entity. In exchange for her soul, it would reveal the future to her. The more Sarah read, the more she realized that the predictions made by Eliza were not just stories. They were events that had actually come to pass. As Sarah delved deeper into the diary, she began to notice something strange. The entries described events that hadn't happened yet she could feel an unsettling truth in them. The first prediction came when Eliza described the sudden death of a friend. Sarah hadn't known the details, but the manner of death, a fall from a high balcony, had been eerily familiar. Her friend Maria had fallen just a week ago in the same manner described in the diary. Her heart raced as she turned the page, desperate to find more answers. Each prediction seemed more disturbing than the last, each one painting a vivid picture of a future that was slowly unfolding before her eyes. The predictions weren't limited to people she knew. There were mentions of accidents, natural disasters, and even a major political event, all of which had come to pass with chilling accuracy. Sarah dismissed the first few coincidences as nothing more than chance. After all, she reasoned, many people made vague predictions that could be interpreted in various ways. But as time passed, more and more of Eliza's predictions began to manifest in real life. A local fire broke out in the exact location Eliza had written about. A car crash occurred at the intersection described in one of the entries. The unsettling feeling that had once been a whisper now felt like a constant presence, following Sarah wherever she went. Her obsession with the diary grew. She couldn't stop herself from reading, even as she feared what the next page would reveal. Each new prediction felt like a heavy weight on her chest, as if fate itself was closing in around her. One night, Sarah reached an entry that sent a chill down her spine. The words were directed at her. Eliza had written about her, detailing her life in frightening detail. The diary described Sarah's childhood, her relationships, and her recent move to the city. It even mentioned her fear of thunderstorm, a fear she had never shared with anyone. It was as though the diary had been waiting for her all along. She tried to close the book, to forget it, but the words seemed to pull her back in, beckoning her to continue reading. The predictions were no longer distant occurrences. They were becoming her reality. The diary knew her every every move, her every fear, her every thought. It was as if the dark force that Eliza had made a pact with was now watching Sarah, too. As Sarah read on, she uncovered the chilling truth. Eliza had made a pact with an ancient entity, a force that existed beyond the realm of human understanding. In exchange for the ability to foresee the future, Eliza had sold her soul to the entity. The diary, it seemed, was the entity's instrument, a vessel through which it manipulated time and fate. Each entry was a record of the price Eliza had paid for her knowledge. The more she read, the more Sarah realized that the entity's power was not limitless. It was tied to the diary. The more the diary was read, the more control the entity gained over its reader. Sarah was now its new victim. As the days went by, Sarah began to feel the consequences of reading the diary. Her health started to deteriorate. She couldn't sleep, and when she did, she was plagued by nightmares. The shadows in her apartment seemed darker, more alive. The once peaceful street outside her window now felt oppressive, as if something was watching her from the darkness. One night, she awoke to find that the entries had begun to predict her own downfall. Each prediction grew more horrific. Accidents, injuries, terrifying encounters with strange figures. It was as if the diary had already decided her fate, and she was powerless to stop it. Desperate to escape the grip of the diary, Sarah tried to burn it, to bury it, to throw it away. But each time she attempted to rid herself of it, the book would reappear, as though it had a will of its own. The diary's pull was too strong, too insistent. Even when she locked it away in a drawer, she could feel its presence, urging her to continue reading. It was as if the entity was inside her mind, forcing her to turn each page, to learn her fate. Sarah had become trapped in a cycle, unable to break free from the diary's grip. One final entry caught Sarah's eye, a prediction of her own death. The words were written in a different, almost frantic hand, as though Eliza had finally realized the true cost of her pact. Sarah read the word, "You will die by your own hand, trapped in a place you cannot escape." The words chilled her to the bone. The diary had foreseen her death, and there was no way to escape it. No matter what she did, the curse had already claimed her. In her final moments, Sarah realized that the only way to break the pact was to destroy the diary for good. But as she reached for the book, a force stronger than her own will held her back. The entity was winning. As the darkness closed in, Sarah whispered a prayer, hoping to find peace, but it was too late. The diary had already claimed her soul, and there was no escaping its grip. If you enjoyed this terrifying tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more horror stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Share your thoughts on the Tainted Diary, and let us know what other supernatural stories you'd like to hear. Stay tuned for the next chilling chapter.